Hello and welcome to another vlog. Today is Monday. It is the first day of February, which means it is also the first day of Polarthon, which I will be participating in this week. So that is very exciting. Yesterday I filmed my February TBR video, which I'm hoping I can maybe have done and up today. Here's the thumbnail I think I'm gonna go for, if you guys are interested. If you watched my February TBR video, then you know that I only own one of the books that I picked and am needing to figure out how to access the other books that I want to read. And so I went to the bookstore earlier and kind of looked around, just like my local bookstore, which isn't very big. And I just sort of looked around for the books that I was wanting, and they didn't have any of them. And then I kind of checked in with my library as well as the closest Barnes and Noble, and neither of them had any of the books that I'm wanting to read. So two of the books that I was hoping to get were the second and third books in the Winter Night trilogy. I've explained how I read this book for the mini Polarthon that happened in December, but I don't own the other two. And I know that I at least want to read the second book in the trilogy, which is The Girl in the Tower, because that is the one that I put on my February TBR for this readathon. And I knew that I wanted to own the complete trilogy anyway, so I'm thinking I'll just order the other two books and they will hopefully get here in the next couple days, considering that we are in Polarthon right now. But for the time being, I did actually listen to a lot of this on audiobook the first time that I read it. And so I think that I would be fine also listening to the second book on audiobook. And then if I want to switch back and forth between the audiobook and the physical copy once I have it, then I can do that. As far as my Polarthon TBR, I have the other two books in this trilogy, but my priority is at least just the second book in the trilogy, especially because I do have a current read that I'm working my way through right now, which is not polar fantasy. But you know I'm going to be reading it this week, and that is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. The second book in this series, A Court of Mist and Fury, was the only book from my January TBR that I actually ended up reading in the month of January. And also, I loved it. I'm continuing with this one, and I am currently on page 250 of this. I honestly have no idea how this week is going to go or how much reading I'm actually going to get done. We actually had a snow day last week and we got a day off of school, and I'm like, oh, that would have been so perfect for the week of Polarthon. I did sit through some of Jade's reading sprints earlier today, and I did read some of this, but I haven't started in on the audiobook for The Girl in the Tower yet, but I might do that a little bit this evening as I'm sort of tidying up. I might go ahead and start that, but I also have this TBR video that I'm hoping to get up. I have some school work that I need to do, and then I also just kind of want to continue with this one. So, hello, Lily. Hello. Hello, it is Wednesday and I came home to a package today, which is really exciting. These are the books that I ordered, so I thought I would do a little unboxing with you guys and show you the books that I got. So okay, so some of these books are for Polarthon and some of them aren't, but I will go ahead and just show you all of the ones that I got. So here they are. The first one is Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson, and this one is not one that I plan on reading for Polarthon, but it is one that I plan on reading this month for Blackathon. So I ordered this one, and then the other one that I ordered for Blackathon that I am really excited about is The Weight of the Stars. This one, probably of all the books on my TBR, I'm the most excited for, which I think is interesting. This one is by Kay Ankrum, and I absolutely love the cover. And it's also got like this cool design along the side because like all the pages have this. So looking forward to that one. And then the other two that I have are The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden and The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. So these are meant to complete my Winter Night trilogy. So now I have all three of the books. So The Bear and the Nightingale is book number 1. This one I've already read. And then The Girl in the Tower is on my TBR for Polarthon. And then the third book, of course, I just ordered for the sake of finishing out the series. I did start The Girl in the Tower on audiobook a little bit, and I'm not sure. I think I'm like 4 chapters in. So maybe here-ish. So not very far, but I have at least started this one. And then I guess I could also give you a little update. I did read more of A Court of Wings and Ruin yesterday as well. And I'm currently on page 356 of this one. And I read this actually during some reading sprints yesterday. I sat in on the reading sprints on Jade's channel, Jade from Jade Read, who is hosting Polarthon. So something that Jade is doing this year for Polarthon are teams. There are 4 teams and each have like a cute little polar mascot. There are the polar bears, the penguins, the walruses, and the Arctic foxes. And then each team has like a different set of prompts, and I could maybe put the little map that she made up on the screen so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But at the time of her reading sprints, I still wasn't really sure like what team I wanted to be on, because once you pick a team, there's like a page tracker and you can submit the pages that you've read, and then that gets you points for your team. And then I thought, well, instead of trying to make the books that I want to read fit into the set prompts for one team, maybe I could just like share the wealth a little bit and pick a couple prompts from a couple different teams and then just put my pages and my points towards multiple teams. But I didn't want to do that in case it like messed something up as far as like, I don't know, the page count. So since I was already on her sprints, I thought that I would just message her and ask like, hey, can I put my different books towards different prompts for different teams?
This will lower every team's average if you do this. So if you complete all 5 for one team and you then want to complete all 5 for another team as well, you can do that. But if you're doing what I'm doing with like one from each team, because I can't pick a team, that would be unfair, then I would suggest don't log them at all, because you will negatively impact every team if you do that, because you'll lower the average. But I mean, if you want to do it anyway and then just not log it, again, no one's going to yell at you. That's not the rules, but no one's going to yell at you.
I am.
Every
Just
time,
might yell at you.
every time, Pris.
And I didn't want Pris to come yell at me for doing that. I guess I didn't realize that she was counting the average, like the average page count instead of the total page count. Regardless, the fact that she was like, well, you can do that, but if you do, please don't put them in the tracker, or you can just pick a team. So then I was like, okay, I'll just pick a team. So then later I actually jumped over to some reading sprints on Erin's channel from Booked and Busy, I believe is the name of her channel, but she is one of the YouTube hosts as far as like, or hosts or like team leader, I guess, for the polar bears. And of course, at the beginning of the live, she was like, hey, if you're coming from Polarthon, if you're participating in Polarthon this week, then let us know down in the comments which team you're on. So I was like, I don't really know what team I'm on yet. And of course, Erin was like,
you know, the polar bears are a great team, but honestly, all the teams are fantastic. I would say look at the prompts, and whichever team has books that work with your TBR.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So then during one of the sprints, actually, I was like, you know what? I should just sit down and like try and figure this out. If I'm going to do Polarthon right, then I'm going to pick a team. And I have decided to join Team Walrus, which I am so excited for, honestly, because our team leader for Walrus, Team Walrus, is Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin, and I love him and I love his channel. So I'm very excited that the books that I had already planned to read actually worked well with the prompts for Team Walrus so that I can participate in Team Walrus for Polarthon 2021. Sorry, Erin, for not joining Team Polar Bear. So the first book I know I wanted to try and fit in if I could is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This was my current read, so I really wanted to try and just sort of carry this over into Polarthon. So to make Hello Lily. Lily, hi. Hey. So to make this book work for Team Walrus, I'm actually doubling up on prompts, and I'm going to be counting this for a book with a dark cover and the prompt deep dive? Dive in. Dive in. The prompt dive in, meaning I really wanted to dive into this book, which I did after having just read A Court of Mist and Fury last month. Then the next book I want to read is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden, and this counts towards my general polar fantasy novel. And then I'm assuming that this has some kind of Arctic setting. It does take place in Russia, and I believe that there are parts of the story where it's not really clear where in parts of Russia the story is taking place, but it's all very snowy and Arctic, so we're just gonna go with that. And then I thought if I finished those two that I might read The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden and just continue and finish the Winter Night trilogy. However, the last prompt for Team Walrus is Cold Waters, and I don't think that this book has anything to do with water or being at sea. So I couldn't technically count this towards Team Walrus if this was something that I decided to read. I decided to do a little research on my Goodreads of like what books I have that I might be interested in reading that have to do with water that I could maybe possibly read for this week and fulfill the Cold Waters prompt. The last book on my Polarthon TBR for this week is The Deep by River Solomon. Honestly, this book is perfect for a few reasons. One, It absolutely takes place at sea. Plus, like, it is nice and short. So the audiobook, I want to say, is like just over 4 hours. I don't know. We'll see if I even get to this one this week. I really am hoping that I do, because it would be so great to just like say that I fulfilled all of the prompts for Polarthon. But it's also perfect because this book is written by a Black author, and especially for the month of February, I am participating in Blackathon. So if all goes to plan, these are the 3 books that I will be reading for Polarthon this week. Hello, it is Thursday, and I am coming to you today from my couch because I am just exhausted this afternoon. And it's so nice out, like the sun is shining through my window right now, which is so weird because it also snowed earlier today. So I just sort of came in and flopped down on the couch and am thinking about just doing some reading right now, actually. Mostly I'm trying to make myself not take a nap. I need to just push through until it is a decent time to go to bed, and then just let myself go to bed early tonight. I did get some reading done. I'm not exactly sure where I'm at in either of my books right now, but I also probably didn't get as much reading done as I could have because I was spending some time last night actually editing the first like part of this vlog so that I could actually maybe have it edited and up like at the end of this week. Plus, you would have just heard me talk about The Deep and whether or not I might actually get to that book this week, because it's just sort of like the last one for the last prompt and it's short. I was kind of prioritizing those other 2, but I actually bought a copy of The Deep for my brother for Christmas this year, and I got a copy for myself and thought like, oh, it'd be cool if the 2 of us could sort of read that book around the same time and then talk about it. Not necessarily like a true buddy read, but it would be fun to just like get each other's thoughts on the book. So I knew that he had started it at some point, and then I knew that I was thinking about reading it for Polarthon. So we were actually on the phone yesterday and I just mentioned like, hey, I'm thinking about reading The Deep. Like, where are you at in the book? Do you want to try and finish it around the same time so we can talk about it? And then we were talking about how we're going to see each other on Saturday, and today's Thursday. And I was like, oh, maybe if we both have it done by Saturday, then we can actually talk about it. And then he texted me today and he was like, I finished it. So now I'm like, well, I should maybe try and have that book read by Saturday night when I see him so that we can actually talk about it. But that probably means like reading all 3 of my books at the same time, because I don't know, or at least maybe I can make that one of my goals. Do I think I can read the rest of A Court of Wings and Ruin before the end of today? Then I could just sort of be working my way through the other 2 instead of trying to juggle 3 at the same time, which I've done before. And I am definitely someone who's more willing to read more than 1 book at a time than I was before. But I don't know if the 3 books that I have are 3 that I would want to try and read all at the same time. Plus, it just might make for a messy vlog if I'm trying to keep you updated on 3 books at once instead of reading a book at a time and just updating you as I read each book. Since it's so nice out, I don't know if you guys hear the wind howling outside my window. I swear it's nice. But I thought since it is nicer outside today that I could either try and read outside somewhere, or I could go for a walk and listen to one of my audiobooks, or I have some things that I could do around my apartment and listen to one of my audiobooks. But I also just kind of want to lay here and read a physical book or watch some YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I will figure out what I want to do, and maybe I'll get some reading done, and maybe I will check in again with you later today. Hello again. It is later on Thursday, and I have been reading A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I am currently on page 472. I'm stopping in the middle of a chapter because I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So I'm in the middle of chapter 49 of this one. And 475, 25 would be 500. I still have over 200 pages left of this book. And I'm also going to try and squeeze in the Deep and The Girl in the Tower, and we'll see if that happens. But I do feel pretty good about my progress on this one tonight, and I am going to go take a shower now and go to bed, and I will likely check in with you tomorrow. Hello, it is Friday night, which means it is day 5 of Polarthon, and I have yet to actually finish a book this week. Also, I'm wearing the same sweater that I was wearing earlier this week in this vlog because I just love this thing, so in case you noticed that. So I am still working my way through A Court of Wings and Ruin. I read a bit of this last night, and then I read a little bit earlier today. Actually, I just sat in on some reading sprints with Jade and Gavin on Gavin's channel and read for a little bit. And I am currently on chapter 52, which is page 489. And I really would like to get this read tonight. I would love to be able to finish this, get these pages counted for my team, and then be able to just focus on the other 2 books that I have for my TBR this week. I haven't really taken the time to talk a whole lot about what this is about or what my actual thoughts are for this book. So I don't really feel like I have to explain a whole lot what this is about because everybody has talked about this book. Everybody has read this book. I feel like I am the one who is late to the party as far as reading any of Sarah J. Maas's books. But this is the 3rd book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, or ACOWAR series. And it's weird now because I feel like the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, it feels so separate from the other 2 books. The first book is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and then it sort of spins off from there, and things take a totally different, go in a totally different direction in the second book, and then the 3rd book obviously follows from there. And I'm really enjoying this series. I know that a lot of people really either love or really hate Sarah J. Maas's books, but these are definitely fantasy romance books. So if you are not in it for the romance, then you're probably not going to like it as much, especially because it can be pretty heavy-handed and cheesy. And if you're not into that, then you're not into that. I am a sucker for it. There are fairies and monsters. There's lots of magic. Hello, Lily. Excuse you. There's obviously lots of romance. There are definitely like smutty scenes in this series, but there's also like some political and like wartime elements as well. And I also think one of my favorite things about at least the second and third books are sort of the found family aspect. I really do like the characters. I just really like how dramatic everything is. The first book I gave 4 stars. The second book I gave 5 stars. I'm thinking this one might also be 4 stars, but a higher 4 stars than the first book is sort of what I'm thinking right now. And I really just want to finish this. I am predicting that, I don't know. I'm predicting that there's going to be like some major changes, or like, what's the word? I think some major things are going to be revealed at the end of this book that may hit me in the feels. And so I don't know, by the end, maybe I'll be feeling 5-star, but I'm still predicting 4-star for this one. All right, so my goal is to finish this book tonight. I know I said that last night too. I said that yesterday. I was like, maybe I could just like finish ACOWAR. Didn't happen. I still have a couple hundred pages to get through, but it's a Friday night. I don't have to be up early or anything tomorrow, so I think I might just stay up and finish this, and then maybe I will check in with you guys a little bit later. Also, earlier today, I went through Starbucks and I got myself a second pink drink and just stuck it in the fridge, so I'm going to enjoy this while I read my book. I just got to chapter 57 of this book, and I am definitely eager to finish this. There have been, like, throughout this whole story, lots of, like, talk of war and battles and that sort of thing. But there's also, like, so many, like, love triangles and couples that totally have feelings for each other, but don't tell each other that they have feelings for each other. And, like, you know that by the end of this, certain couples are gonna get together. And I'm here for that. Still have a bit left. I've got this much left of the story, so still working my way through. Hello, it is Saturday. It is the 6th day and penultimate day of Polarthon, and I have finally finished a book. I really enjoyed this. I think I'm sticking with my 4-star prediction. Did things sort of happen pretty conveniently? Yes. But as is the case usually with romances anyway, so I really enjoyed it. It did make me tear up multiple times, and I'm very anxious to read the next book, which is like the novella, which I think is going to connect this series with the sort of spin-off series that follows a different set of characters. And that book, that first book in that new series or new spin-off, is actually coming out this month in February. So I don't know how quickly I'll get to the rest of the books in this series, but I am really enjoying it, and I am so glad that I was able to actually finish this, because now I can count all 700 of these pages towards Team Walrus. So I will need to submit the form and put my pages towards my team. But as far as the rest of today and the rest of Polarthon, my fear is that this is probably the only book I will finish this week, because my brother and his girlfriend are in town this weekend, and I'm gonna go spend some time with them. I have some school stuff I need to do this weekend. Taylor and I are hanging out for a little bit tomorrow, and then it's the Super Bowl, which I will be watching. So I don't know when I thought I was going to read another book. I think I was hoping that I would get through this one more quickly than I did. But yeah, it took me a little longer to read this than I had estimated. So that's okay. It was a good read. If I don't read my, what's it called? The Girl in the Tower? The Girl in the Tower, right? Is that what it's called? Yeah, this one, The Girl in the Tower. This is my actual polar fantasy that I said I was going to read, and I have not read it. I've started it, but I am not very far into it. I started it, like I said before, a little bit on audiobook. I don't even think I've read any more of it since then. Tomorrow's the last day of Polarthon, and I have The Deep that I could try to read. I honestly had hoped to read this one before hanging out with my brother today, because he has already read this, and it would have been cool to like sit and talk about it with him, but I haven't read it yet, so that won't be happening. But yeah, I don't know how the rest of this weekend is going to go. For now, I'm going to go get dressed, and I'm gonna go hang out with my family for a bit. So I will see you when I see you. Hello again. It is Sunday, which means it is the last day, technically, of Polarthon. However, I have not read anything else. Last night I ended up going out to my parents' house. My brother and his girlfriend and their very cute dog were in town. We were actually getting together, one, because it was the Super Bowl this weekend, but two, because my brother and my mom and I all have January birthdays, and we hadn't all gotten a chance to get together and like celebrate our birthdays. So we actually did that last night, which was fun, and we had dinner and we had cake and we exchanged gifts and everything, which was really nice. I will probably do some kind of like bookish haul video later this month. And include some of the things that I got for my birthday, but to sort of give you a sneak peek, a couple things that I thought were really fun is this board game called the Crazy Cat Lady game, and you basically have to collect the most cats in order to win. And so of course we played that together last night, and that was really fun. But then I also got this book, The Midnight Library, which I know has been super hyped, and it has been on my like kind of most anticipated reads list, and I didn't have a copy of it yet, so I got this for my birthday as well, and I am excited to read this at some point. I'm pretty set, of course, for February as far as my TBR goes, so maybe this is one that I will try and get to next month, but really excited for that one. Also, it snowed while I was out at my parents' house last night, and I ended up staying the night, and then I came home to kind of get some things done, and then I was gonna go back out and hang out and watch the Super Bowl together, but it has been snowing again tonight. Also, like, in case it wasn't clear, my family was rooting for the Chiefs. And they did not win. I am hoping that we might have a snow day tomorrow, and if that's the case, then I might just like extend this vlog a little bit into tomorrow, even though I know technically Polarthon will have ended by then, and yes, I did already submit my pages for my Team Walrus. I had 699 pages from A Court of Wings and Ruin that I submitted via the form to get those pages counted. And I don't know when that's being announced as far as like which team wins. I don't know if Jade is going to do like a video for it, or if it's something that she's just going to like post on the Polarthon Twitter. I'm hoping if we have a snow day and I get the day off tomorrow, since I'm pretty much caught up on work stuff, for the sake of this vlog, I could try to spend tomorrow finishing one of these. This one I've started, this one I haven't. This one's shorter though. So, also this one was technically on my February TBR, this one was technically not. So I don't know, if I do have the day off tomorrow, maybe I'll just see what I'm feeling like. Also, I'm not really sure if I should end this vlog here. I don't know, I'm fairly confident we're gonna have a snow day. Hello. It is probably close to 4 p.m. at this point, and I just got home from work. We did not have a snow day, although a lot of us thought that we should have had a snow day. The roads were actually pretty bad, and I was a little shocked that they didn't call it this morning. So I did have to go into work. We had school today, which means that I did not get any additional reading done, which means I won't get any additional reading done for this vlog. I am simply here to let you know that Polarthon, in reality, in this vlog, is officially done and over. I feel kind of bad that I sort of like teased you guys into thinking that I was gonna read more books than I actually did. I did in fact only read A Court of Wings and Ruin for Polarthon, and I do still have every intention of reading these two books, just not for this vlog. This one I technically had on my February TBR with the intent of reading it for Polarthon, because this was the actual Polar Fantasy. This one was not, but I was eager to get this one read first. So I don't think I'm going to probably finish this one for February, if I'm being honest, for a couple of reasons. It's a little slow going, and I know that it's going to probably take me a little bit to get into it. I know that the payoff is going to be good because it was for The Bear and the Nightingale, and I've only heard that like the books get progressively better as you go through the trilogy, which is exciting, and I am excited to read this one. But basically, outside of Polarthon, the rest of February is meant to be Blackathon, which is another readathon that I am participating in, and so I want to give as much time, of course, to that and be reading as many books as I can for that readathon, which means I'm reading books by Black authors. So I might still get to this one this month and try and have this one read. Again, it's short, and I think that I will enjoy maybe taking like an afternoon or two, or maybe like a weekend to sit and just like absorb the audiobook. I think that that would be a really cool experience. So you might see this one. Here I am making promises again. We'll see if I get to this one, but you might see it, you might see me talk about it in my Blackathon vlog, which I also plan to do for the last several weeks of February. Is it a fail that I only read one book for Polarthon and it wasn't even a polar fantasy? I don't know. I got to read a book that I enjoyed, and I got to put some pages towards my team, and I got some content to put up on my channel. I don't really know how this vlog is going to turn out. I basically intend to spend the rest of this evening compiling all of the footage from basically the second half of this week and putting that together, so hopefully it's been okay. I also checked Twitter to see which team actually won Polarthon, because it was broken up into teams, and I'm still not entirely sure how like the page averages work, but unfortunately, out of the 4 teams, Team Walrus did indeed get 4th place. So we came in last, which is a bummer, but that's okay. It was still a fun experience. I enjoyed seeing Jade's like daily vlogs that she put up on her channel, and I enjoyed doing a lot of the reading sprints with everybody, and it was really fun. And I got to read a book that I was hoping to get read. So with all of that being said, this is officially the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. If you have stuck around this long, I really appreciate you being here. If you yourself participated in Polarthon, I would love to know what you were able to get read over the course of this week. So if you wanted to, let me know down in the comments some of the things that you were able to read for Polarthon. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, again, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!